Welcome, everybody, to Born Broke with Mike Hofferth. And today we're going to talk about debt. Mike, take it away, bro.
Debt, man. Debt is a difficult thing for people to process. Because everyone at some point in their life that experienced debt tried to bury their head in the sand.
Yep.
And that's not the way to do it. Because that debt's not going to go away. You have to focus and hit debt face on. And you have to chip away at it unless you can find a way to just dump it.
Unless you get a big payment or some
That's
help
right.
from parents.
Correct.
But if not,
Yeah.
just to make those minimum payments and mainly paying interest, and you're never hitting principal, and then you're pretty much stuck in that whole cycle.
Well, I'll tell you, for those of you that aren't in debt, you need to steer clear from debt. Because what George just said, you'll never, ever get out of debt by climbing your way out very slow. It's structured and built to keep you there. You need to know there is good debt. People classify it as good debt, but on another episode, it depends on how you see it, right? Like, let's go back to the Howie episode, right? Howie actually said buying a house, he didn't see it as buying a good debt per se, right? And I'm paraphrasing because I don't know exactly what he said, but buying a house to me is still good debt. The reason why is because when you purchase a house, you have the upside potential of the increase of the equity, right? And that's actual value gain for you. The way I look at housing, right, when you purchase a house, is you're basically renting that house from yourself, so to speak. So you take money out of your left pocket and you put it in your right pocket. And it's like a bank account, right? When you pay rent, you're paying that rent to a landlord and you're getting nothing in return, except for, unless you're in rent control, but a rent increase usually because they always want more money. But when you purchase a house and you go out on that limb, if you purchase in the right place, you have upside potential in equity gain. That's value increase, right? That's a good debt, I think, right? That's a good gamble. Now, when you buy a car, for instance, and we had an episode on cars, you can go watch that as well. That's not necessarily a good debt, right? That I'd classify as a bad debt because there's depreciation immediately in the vehicle. So you're losing money. But if you want the car, buy it. But the thing is, you got to keep those things in check, right? You got to live within your means, and we talk about that often. Live within your means. So really bad debt is credit card debt, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And that credit card debt will eat you alive.
Because it's the highest.
It's the highest interest.
Yep.
You can be looking down the barrel of 14, 15, 16, 20%, right?
Late fees, all kinds of,
all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, credit cards can be used to your advantage, which is in another episode we've done, right? If you can put all your needs, not your wants, on that credit card and you know you're making enough money to pay it off in full every month before that interest hits you, right?
Right. And I'm glad you brought up needs and wants because it's an important exercise for me, people in my family as well, friends that call me and say, hey, should I get this? Should I not? And they ask me what it is. They tell me what it is. And I go, are you serious? You already have like 3 of them. Why do you need to go put yourself further into debt? Because are you what causes people to buy things that they want instead of need? And I think that's something that I think we're gonna go down that route as well and try to have like a psychologist on here and just say, what is it that causes people? Is it to feel better about yourself? Is it to fit in? Is it to whatever it is? But there's so many things that you can do with yourself. And like, for instance, go to Equinox and you're paying whatever, a couple $100 a month to go work out and stay fit. I'm like, oh, it's for my health. Sure. You can't afford an Equinox membership. Go outside, do some push-ups, go for a run, go for a hike, be healthy outside. There's plenty of things to do that are free, but we choose to pay for them, which is it's insanity, I think.
That's life. It's discipline, though. It's discipline.
Absolutely.
It's being disciplined to live within your means, right?
Yep.
And you need to live life. I had a conversation with a colleague today that there's certain choices in your life you need to do, right? And they might not fit within the structure and hardcore, but you can't be like a cave dweller.
No.
And just throw everything by the wayside and be obsessed with your money. I mean, look, you can. Then you might be a little odd.
Right.
But at the end of the day, let us help you stay out of debt. bad debt that is, right? Write in. If you have a question and you don't know good debt, bad debt, write to us and we can respond to you. And if you're thinking you need some help because you're going to make a purchase and you're not quite sure if this purchase is something you need or if it's something you want or if it classifies itself as a good or a bad debt, ask us. We'll respond.
Yeah.
Help us help you do better.
Yeah.
I'm good. Debt. Don't get in bad debt. Check yourself. Have discipline in it. Good debt. If there's upside potential because it's an investment, take the risk. You don't here's the thing in life. I always say nothing happens if nothing happens, right? So if you don't take risks, you're not going to advance.
Yep.
But with risk comes reward, but often, if not calculated,
could crush you. Yeah.
So this episode is debt. Manage it. Be aware of it. Ask the questions. Don't put your head in the sand.
Yep.
Deal with it. And just don't do it.
Yeah. And don't fall into the trap, right? Because in society right now, more than ever, social media is fabricating everybody's lifestyle, and it's all bullshit. Well, for the most part.
The good part about that,
and everybody gets tempted.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because that's what your and my vision for this show was. We're two ordinary dudes that have done big things, but we're not trying to floss and flaunt.
No way.
Shit we don't have to make you like us.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're real people giving you real facts.
Yep.
To better your life.
Absolutely, and I think too is it's just super important to, I mean, what's the best way to say it is not to fall in the trap of everybody's illusion of their eating sushi at Nobu in Malibu when they're really at their house cutting a sliver of a piece of tuna that they got at the store. And they're putting it in there and acting like, oh, I'm tagging myself at no, but everything is so fabricated and it causes everybody to want to go do that as well. But guess what? The pleasure of acting like you're somebody is not worth the stress of being in debt, because that's where you're going to be. If you can afford to do those things, by all means, go have fun and go eat sushi at the beach for $400 just for yourself, if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, with debt comes consequences.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, again, I had another conversation with the same colleague today. Right? It's very easy, as you're speaking about, to eat out or order in when you can just go to the grocery store for a fraction of the price.
Yep.
Right? And you'll probably eat healthier, too, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
If you just pay attention to what you're buying at the grocery store, and you can make those choices. But at the end of the day, this is about debt. Don't do it.
Yep.
Don't do it. If it's in question, don't do it. Self-restraint. It's too easy to swipe that credit card. But the thing is, there is one thing that I forgot to talk about is sometimes you can negotiate that debt.
Oh, this is a great point.
Right? So just because you're in debt, don't always just settle for that debt. Now, I'm not saying drive that debt up, but if you're a person watching the show that is in debt, question those people. If it's credit card debt, can you do a credit card transfer to a zero balance, right? Zero interest for 6 months, 2 months. Fine, you can do credit card balance transfers. It's a pain in the ass, but if you're in that position,
why not?
It's an option,
yeah.
Right? If you're in medical debt, I know you can negotiate that.
100%.
If you're in tax debt, I know you can negotiate that.
You can.
So there's all types of debt, and remember, life is a negotiated thing. You can negotiate almost anything. Now, people might tell you no, but at the end of the day, if you don't ask, you don't know. So you might as well ask the question. It doesn't take any time. Who cares? Ask the questions. That's it. Right on our wall, ask us questions.
Yep. I love it.
I'm done. Debt. Don't do it.
I love it. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and that's a wrap.